In this upcoming video, I'm going to be running through how you can do your roofing takeoff using Assemble's on-screen takeoff tool. So we're going to jump right into the meat of the takeoff. There will be other videos on how to upload plans, how to set your scale, things like that. Be sure to check them out. I'll leave a link in the description. But for now, let's see how we can get our roofing takeoff done in minutes, not hours. So here we can see the completed takeoff. I'm going to show you how you can get the linear measurements of your hips, valleys, ridges, your roofing area measurement, and use the count, as well as make annotations on the plans so you can communicate with contractors and clients. You can clone your page with and without measurements. For this example, we're going to be doing it without measurements. This will give you a fresh sheet with which to do a separate takeoff. So for example, you could do a roofing takeoff, you could also do a carpentry takeoff, and just separate out your packages neatly. You can choose your scale from the drop-down menu here. Assemble is automatically set as 1/4 inch is equal to a foot, but you should be able to see, according to the plans, what the correct scale is and set it accordingly. I always recommend making a known measurement to make sure that your plans are correctly calibrated. Find the known length on the plan. Select the length tool, click to start and double click to finish. If the measurement on the plans match what's in the measurements drawer, you know you're good to go. Okay, let's get into the takeoff. So very quickly, to set up your categories and groups, you can do so by selecting any of the measuring tools. So I've selected length here. I can create a category: roofing, carpentry, plumbing, whatever. It's limited only by your imagination. I then create the group name, and this is so as I can add multiple measurements into one group and get a total for that group. If it's something I measure every time, I'm going to save it to my library, and that will be available for every project going forward in this drop-down menu. Okay, so let's measure hips. Go to the length tool, select the hips. You can choose to increase your line width, which makes it a little bit easier to see on the plans. You click to start the measurement, click to drop a marker and change direction, and double click to finish. You will then see the measurement appear in the measurements drawer on the top right. You go around the rest of the plans, finding your hips, and repeat that process. You will then see all of the measurements add up to make a group total for a hip. We're now going to repeat the process for ridge and the same again for valley. Now let's get to the count tool. It does what it says on the tin. It's the same process to create the groups. The only difference here is you'll give it a symbol. So here we're going to count vents. Find them on the plans, click, it will drop the symbol, and you will see the total appear in the same place of the measurements drawer on the right hand side. We're going to do the same for downpipes as well as skylights. Okay, let's get into the area measurements now. You can get the area of any symmetrical shape with the rectangle. Simply click, drag and drop. But for this, we're going to use the polygon. So we select the polygon, our roof area, and it works the same as the length tool. Click to start, click to drop a marker and change direction, and double click to finish the measurement. In the measurements drawer, when you click the drop down next to the group's name, you'll see the individual measurements that make up that group. By hovering over them in the measurements drawer, they will illuminate on the plans. This will allow you to make adjustments to individual measurements should you need to. Now let's add some additional parameters. By checking the box next to the group in the measurements drawer, you will be given this option. You can add in a depth, more for concrete at this point, but for our purposes, we're going to add in a pitch of 3/12. This will give you the total surface area of the roof. You can then choose the individual measurement within the group and give it a different pitch. Let's say 4/12, as it's a little bit steeper. So just to keep that in mind for yourselves. For length measurements, you'll be given the option to add a height, width, depth, and in our instance, a pitch. So you can add pitches to lengths as well. The annotation feature is a really good tool that you can use to write notes on the plans. It's great to communicate with general contractors, subcontractors, clients, or even to remind yourself to double check something at a later point. Write your notes or clarifications directly onto the plans and use the arrow tool so that there could be no room for doubt. All of this will be available on the marked up PDFs when you download them at a later point. When you're happy you've got your takeoff completed and you want to send it out, you can choose to add the legend directly to the plans by selecting that button above the measurements drawer. They will appear on screen. You can increase their size and place them on the plans where they're not interfering with any of the work you've done. Select the export option and you will be given the chance to download the markups. You can download one individual page or choose which pages you want to download. You can also download all of your measurements to Excel or use the built-in estimating feature on Assemble. That has been a really quick run through of how to do your roofing takeoff using Assemble's on-screen takeoff and estimating system. If you have any questions, give us a shout. We'd be more than happy to jump on and give you a personalized demo.